Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and I'm currently in my 1.1 test world to demo some of the new features added to the Forestry mod. Now I think it's been a little while since I've covered Forestry, so what I'm going to probably do here is just go find a nice spot to set up camp and start demoing how Forestry has changed since the last video I've done. There's been a few minor changes between 1.2.2, which I think was my last video, and 1.2.6, and then I'm currently using version 1.3.0, which has a bunch of changes. So let's get right into them. Alright guys, one of the first changes that was available a version or two back had to do with rubber plantations. So why don't I build one real quick? Just going to plant down my rubber plantation here and hook up some power to it using my handy teleport pipes. And the plantation is going to clear out the space all around that it needs to, and it's going to build something. I'll be right back once it's done building. Alright, so I've got my hummus in here, putting some rubber tree saplings in to let them get planted up. And I'm going to place down my rubber harvester, and the new item that's available is called the tree tap, which is crafted like so, with a sturdy machine in the middle and some tree taps. And what this machine does is, when it receives power, it's going to extract resin out of the resin spots that are available on the trees. So let's hold off on giving it power just yet, and I'll get my logger ready as well, and we'll get some of these trees grown. Now you guys might have remembered the Forestry, or the Forester item, which is pretty much a way to help grow these machines, or the trees. And if I put a catalyst in there and give it some power, it's going to start helping these trees grow a little bit faster. So this is one of the changes in 1.3, is the Forester, which pretty much forces trees to go a little bit faster, can now work with rubber tree plantations. And I'll show you guys how to make these catalysts in just a moment. And you can see we're now growing our rubber trees, which is cool. And if we connect power to our tree tap here, you'll note that the automatic tree tap is going to start pulling resin out of the tree taps. And all the resin will be pulled out, so there's no way it'll regrow, but the resin will pretty much quickly get pulled out of the rubber trees, and we'll be in pretty good shape. So I'm just taking the last of this out of here. I don't want this forester running anymore. Take that guy off. So lots of resin getting popped out here, and the way you collect resin is by powering your logger. So your rubber tree logger here, if we just run some power into that guy, he will pick up the resin and happily teleport it out using a teleport pipe. So or just placing a chest next to the machine, which I could easily do. So if I place the chest next to it, you'll see rubber wood and sticky resin landing in here, as well as any rubber tree saplings that fall off the rubber trees. So those are some changes that are now available. You've got the automatic tree tap, which pulls resin out of resin trees for industrial craft, and the Forester can now make rubber trees grow. Another new machine that we've got here is called the Rainmaker, using a hardened machine and tin, glass, etc., tin gears. So there you go. That's the Rainmaker. Now the Rainmaker doesn't have an interface that you can open up, but there's an item called an iodine capsule here, and you want to take your iodine capsule and place it inside your Rainmaker, and I'll show you how to make those iodine capsules in a moment. And the Rainmaker will start to work with that iodine capsule, releasing whatever into the atmosphere to cause it to rain. So let's see what happens once this progress bar hits full. Ta-da! It's raining! Sweet. And you guys should be familiar with the Carpenter. It's pretty much a machine here that will create certain things. And let's see, can I get some water in there? Yeah, I can. Cool. You need water in your Carpenter to let it run. And this is the way that you build both sturdy machines and hardened machines, I'm sorry. So we need a sturdy machine here and some diamonds. 4 of them in the corners will do. And that's how you get your hardened machine. You can either build it manually in the Carpenter or use the Carpenter like I showed you last episode. That's pretty much how you make your Carpenter. You're going to have to give it some power, I think. And just to show you guys how to make your iodine capsule, it's 4 pieces of tin and 1 gold ingot inside the Carpenter. And another amazing thing that has been added to Forestry here is some serious interaction with the BuildCraft 3.x pipes. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the apiary, and I haven't covered that yet, but that is a new item in Forestry 1.3. But you can have some now conditions for when it's missing a queen or princess, or when it's missing a drone, and that's on the power side of things. Next up, we've got our peat-fired engine. Let's see if there's any new things here. Fuel, less than 25%. Cool. That looks pretty neat. Not sure. Fermenter, let's see what we've got on this side of things. Resources, so it's checking to see if there's any resources below 25 or 10%, and whether it has work to do or not. And the Centrifuge, another one of those machines for forestry, again with the resources and whether or not it has work. The Moistener, it's telling you right up here that it's not dark enough for the Moistener to run, so that's a neat little addition. Didn't know about that one. And if we look through here, we can see a condition for fuel and the same for resources. Nice. The rainwater tank, currently telling you that it's not raining out. And we can go through here and see whether or not there's resources and has work to do. And finally, the biofuel bottler. If we flip through here, we can see that there's, again, resources and has work. Now, on the other side of things, where items might come out, let's see if there's anything different there. No, looks like it's all the same. So that's the way you can interact with all your forestry machines using all the logic gates available in BuildCraft 3.x, which is going to make for some pretty interesting logic systems, I think. And just a brief note here, the bottler has been revamped. It can now bottle lava, oil, fuel, biomass, all kinds of good stuff. So let's see here. Nope. Let's see. I believe it's called... So you can see right now we've got biofuel capsules and biofuel cans. We've got fuel capsules and fuel cans. Let's see, you've also got your oil can, lava can, empty can, water can, biomass can. You get the point. So you can pretty much, any liquid can be bottled up in the biofuel bottler, not only biofuel. And now let's get into the apiary and the production of bees, and there's all kinds of crazy bee stuff going on that I don't totally understand yet, but I'm going to try and figure it out as I make this video and teach you guys how it works, and hopefully I won't get it too wrong. So there's a whole beekeeping aspect added to forestry now, and you can breed bees with each other and do all kinds of other crazy cool stuff, and once you breed them, you can have them producing things for you, and from what I understand, they can produce stuff like resin and rubber for industrial craft and pipe waterproofing and all those other cool things. So let's get into the beekeeping aspects. It's pretty complicated and there's a whole bunch to it, so I'll probably just cover the basics in this video and maybe set up another video tutorial once I have a better understanding of it and can show you guys how it works. Alright guys, so after a little exploration, it looks like I found a beehive. So beehives can be found in forest and meadow biomes. So the forest beehive will spawn in normal and taiga forests, and the meadows beehive spawns in plains and in swamps. And each of these has a particular type of queen that it can drop. And in order to get that, you're going to need a scoop. So let's see about that. There it is, a scoop. Cool. The recipe for that is as shown. Pretty simple, right? Any color of wool, grant you a scoop. And if we right-click on the beehive with a scoop, I think. I don't know, let's try left-clicking. Hey, there we go. Sweet, got a bee. So I've got a meadows queen. Let's go see if I can find a forest queen, and if I can, I might just TMI it for myself, or NEI it as it is now. Ooh, found some more beehives. Let's see what this guy is. Meadows, again. Cool. I'm guessing this is also meadows up here. So it looks like these guys aren't terribly rare. Yep, another meadows. Alright guys, just for the sake of completion, I went exploring a little bit more, found myself a forest, and a forest beehive. So they look white and they hang out on trees, so that's good to know. And there we go, got myself a forest queen. Alright guys, so I've got my apiary here, and let's just break this guy so I can show you the recipe. Apiary is crafted like so, sturdy machine, tin gears, etc. The apiary is the first thing you're going to need to do in your beekeeping career. Plant it down on the ground like so, and place one of your queens in it. So let's take our forest queen. And when I place it in there, you'll see a little health bar on the right. That's how healthy your queen currently is. Don't worry about this slot just yet, I'll get back to it. Now there's several conditions for bees and queen bees to do what they need to do in this apiary. It must not be raining. Nope, we're good. And the view of the sky must not be obstructed. Also true, and it must be daytime. Everything's good. So what's not currently going on, there's one item you need. There must be at least one flower in the immediate vicinity. And oh look, a little magical flutter of something happened when I placed that flower down. Cool. Now all we need to do is hang out for a few minutes and wait. And as you can see, we're starting to get some honeycombs, and the health of my poor little queen bee is starting to drop. It takes a lot of effort for her to do what she needs to do, so let's give it some more time here. But you can see the little health bar dropped all by itself, and the honeycomb here did what it needed to do. And the flower is still hanging out. I'm going to plant some more flowers. Let's go with some of the yellow ones here. Not sure if more flowers in the vicinity matter or not, but what the heck. I'll put some more around and see if it speeds the process up. No idea if that works. But you can see the health dropping and honeycombs being produced, and I'll be back once this guy is done. And what I might do, just to make sure that, we have two sets of bees here, why don't I put my other bees right down next to them. So, plant down some more flowers. Again, not sure if one or many makes a difference. And looks like it's also growing more flowers all by itself in the vicinity. Not sure if that's a side effect of the apiary. I'm guessing it might be. And I'll put my meadows bee in there. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'll be back in a few moments once we produce some good stuff. So honeycombs are coming out of there. So, my bees are doing their thing, and you might notice there's a bunch of flowers popping up all over the place. While we're waiting for that to happen, let's place down some new machines called the Centrifuge. Basically, you want to take any output items that are produced by your apiaries and process them in a centrifuge. So let's just get some piping underneath here. I think I need power to run these guys. I would imagine I do, but I'll find out if I'm wrong in a moment. And hook up a power teleport pipe here. I think it was frequency 2 that I was using. Yeah, there we go. Power's flowing in, so this is definitely a machine that requires power. Let's check it out. All I need to do is run over here and grab my honeycomb, and you can see that my poor forest queen has died, and I'll get on to what happens there in a moment. And the centrifuge is going to simply take the honeycombs that were produced, and I think that the numbers here are roughly a 90% chance to drop honey, there we go, and a 100% chance to drop beeswax. Sweet. And honey is used to create a couple different things, as is beeswax. I'll get into the purpose of these items in a moment, but for now just keep in mind that beeswax can produce wax capsules, or it can produce pipe waterproofing. And honey can produce catalysts, as you saw me use in my forester, and it can also produce a glistening melon, or honey-eyed slice of bread. It can also produce short mead. Not sure what that does. Guess it's a type of food, but we'll figure it out as we go along. So you can see the honeycombs producing the beeswax and the honey drops. Cool. And this guy's almost dead, it looks like. Poor Meadows Queen. Let's take a look now. We've got the queen has died, and we've got a princess and a drone are produced when a queen dies. And what you want to do is mate your princess with your drones to get a new queen by placing the princess in the top slot and the drone in the bottom slot. However, it's very beneficial and something you should definitely look into. You want to crossbreed your princesses and drones. So if I take my Meadows princess and place her up here, and take my forest drone and place him down here, you'll see that they'll breed together and produce a queen. Sweet. And we've got a Forest Meadows Queen. Cool. Let's do the same thing over here. We'll do our Forest Princess with a Meadows Drone. Kind of the reverse. I guess we'll get the same kind of queen. Let's see what happens. Forest Meadows-Forest Queen. Alright, cool. So, Forest Meadows and Meadows Forest. So there's basically like a primary breed and a secondary breed. And the Princess is what gives you your primary breed, and the drone is what gives you your secondary breed. And there's a couple different outputs that you'll get as a result of using the different queens. Alright, so I've now gotten a Forest-Meadows princess, and I'm going to try mating with a Meadows drone and see what I get. No idea what's going to happen now. Cool, Meadows Forest Queen. Neat. Now you guys should know there's about 11 different types of drones and princesses and all that cool stuff. Let's take our Meadows Forest drone and mate with our Forest Meadows. Let's see, Meadows Forest, Forest Meadows. Sure. Wait, that's two queens. They're not going to mate, are they? Oh no, it's a drone. That's the drone. Yep. So meadows forest and forest meadows. There we go. Ha, much better. What kind of queen am I going to get out of this? Forest queen. Alright, yep. I don't fully understand it, but it's basically dominant and recessive genes that are pretty much making these guys come out. I don't know exactly what combinations make different bees, but there's about 11 different types of bees, and there's a bunch of different types of outputs as well from different bees. You can get royal jelly, and you can get some pollen, which is used for, I believe, you can also get propolis, which gets you sticky resin, which is allowable for IC2 and rubber creation. So a bunch of different types of bees that you definitely want to check out. There's a lot of breeding possibilities. As you can see, a lot of flowers were planted all around my apiaries. So that's kind of neat. Now the last piece of this apiary stuff is that, number one, all BuildCraft pipes work on these apiaries. Of course, this is a BuildCraft add-on for the most part. It's going to want to have some BuildCraft pipe functionality. And to help that out, we have the apiarist's pipe, and it's created like so. A couple pieces of propolis on the side, which again are created from a certain special combination of bees. They'll produce this propolis, and a diamond transport pipe. Let's plant this guy down and take a look at the interface. And I'll put some regular old transport pipes on the side. Let's go with stone. Now first off, it looks like a diamond pipe, as you would expect, because it had a diamond pipe interface that it started off with. So diamond pipes used in the creation of this thing makes sense. And if we open up the interface, whoa, lots of crazy stuff going on here. Let's figure it out. First off, on the left are the rules for each row. Okay, so first off, closed, meaning the X, means nothing will be accepted in this direction. So pretty much, if you only want to have inputs coming along the black path, for example, the black path out the bottom, you might want to have that side closed, so that nothing will be output along that side. Okay. The next option here is anything, meaning any item, bee or not, regardless of any genome pattern, will be accepted in this directions. So there you go. You pretty much have anything going through this line. Next up, we've got the item, meaning any item that's not a bee will be accepted in this direction. So pretty much if you want to route the output of your pipes along the red line, but don't output any bees along the red line, you've got the option there. And finally, you've got any bee, which means as long as it's a bee, it'll go through. Doesn't matter what type of bee it is, no genome patterns, it doesn't matter. A bee must match at least one of the patterns to be accepted. And then finally, we've got down here, drone, princess, and queen. So you can specify that only drones, princesses, or queens can go through this line. Makes sense, right? Now remember I said that there were primary and recessive traits, right? That's what you set along these lines here. So let's say that we only wanted a princess to go through the green pipe, and we wanted the primary trait to be forest, right? So right now over here we've got a meadows-forest princess. This would not go through the green pipe because the primary is not forest. The primary is meadows. And if we went over here, we have a forest princess. So the primary is forest, so this one would go through the green pipe. And on the other side, you can set meadows as the recessive. So in this case, you could force it that only forest-meadows princesses would go through the green pipe. Makes sense, right? And you could do something like this, so that only primary meadows would go through here. In that case, this guy, the meadows-forest princess, would be allowed through. And you could say any bee, and as long as it's the primary of meadows, it'll make its way through. This way, only meadows drones will get through. That's the basic gist. And you can have a couple different settings here. So you could say, you know, primary meadows or primary forests or drones are allowed through this pipe. So using this apiarist pipe, you can set up a pretty complex routing path to ensure that as soon as your queen's here, Meadows Queen for example, which I just changed up, is to, you know, once they become a set of drones and princesses, you could pump them out using BuildCraft pipes, and then send them through this apiarist pipe and say, hey, if you're a Meadows drone, go down the green path, and, you know, if you're a princess and you're a forest princess, go down the blue path. Right? Or you could have both princess, forest, and meadows going down. So you could do a couple different things, right? So here's the forest and meadows drones would go down green. This way you could combine your pipes and your princesses and drones intelligently all through the routing system. And this Apiary pipe is aware of the breed of princess, queen, and drone that you have. Pretty darn spiffy. So guys, like I said, this whole apiary thing with your forest queens and whatnot and beekeeping is pretty complex. Definitely something to check out. The wiki has a pretty good explanation of how everything works, and I feel like this is a good time to wrap up this video showing you guys how to use the new Forestry. So this is Forestry 1.3. It's available for BuildCraft 3.1.2 and Minecraft 1.1. So a lot of cool stuff added. Again, I barely scratched the surface of what the Centrifuge and the whole apiary beekeeping thing can do. So there's a lot to check out here. Again, there's 11 different types of bees, all with different lifespans and different, outputs. They produce a bunch of different items here, which can all be extracted in your Centrifuge. So a very cool system. So this is Direwolf20 signing off on Forestry 1.3.0, and I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy.